Stuff with Jim and Muff and every last one of the homies.
Wee!
We for Alex, we for football, we for fun. Today is Sunday, December 21st, and college football playoff week 1 is in the books. We had 2 good games, we had 2 duds. And maybe old Mr. Saban had it right on this one with a little bit of that AAA minor leagues talk. Jake Paul gets very humbled in his matchup against Anthony Joshua, and Kenny Dillingham got paid, ladies and gents. This with more on the way in this episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. As a reminder, everybody, I am your host, Muff, joined alongside the Ohio Homer, then the Ohio Degenerate, the capo of Midwest Crackhouse, Jim.
Hello.
Hello. Also alongside the guru of officiating, Nate.
That's me, Alex.
Oh, and our resident medical degenerate, Alex.
Hi.
As always, thanks to everybody interacting with our content on the socials at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
A ding ding.
A ding ding, get that bell on. And a call right now to everybody, anybody listening now, whether you are listening via audio on Spotify or Apple, whether you're following on live on YouTube or wherever else you may be listening, go right now. Get to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, because we're going to give away some prizes. Once we get to 100 subscribers.
From Harper and Company.
That's the one. Without any further ado, let's get into the leadoff this week. Starting first with the college football playoff week 1 matchups. In Friday football, we had Alabama coming back to win 34-24 over Oklahoma. What are our thoughts on this game?
Alabama looked really shitty at first.
Yeah. Then when Oklahoma forgot they were playing a football game, they started to look better.
Jim, did you watch this one?
The Bama, Oklahoma, yeah. Bits and pieces, chunks. Once I knew that Oklahoma was shit in the bed, I kind of was like, all right, I'm done.
I mean, Alabama was making it look pretty loud for those people that said they shouldn't have been in.
That is for sure. There's definitely a lot of discussion as this first weekend progressed. I will say more so from the Notre Dame faithful than anybody. But it seems as though the college football playoff got it pretty right here, just based on how things played out in our first weekend's matchups. So Bama moves on. Next, we had in Saturday football a bit of a defensive struggle as Miami, Florida comes away with a 10-3 win over Texas A&M. Now, I know that Alex and I were not able to watch this game in real time, but we were keeping a little bit of the score as it was going along, and we were very, very surprised when it was so low scoring. So, Jim, Nate, did you guys get a chance to watch any of this live?
Yes. So they were making a real big deal about the wind, saying the wind was really affecting the passing game. There were wind gusts, I think, up to what, Jim? Like, what they said, like 30.
Is it Miami? I didn't watch the Miami game.
Oh, you didn't watch any Miami game? Okay.
No.
But yeah, I think they said wind gusts were like up to like 30 miles an hour, and both defenses just balled out. I mean, neither offense could really get anything going. Miami's offense just started clicking in the fourth quarter. Their running back just like went off, kind of a couple of big long runs, and then there was a chance where we thought Miami was out of it. Their star receiver had a fumble, and then A&M couldn't do anything with it. I think that's how they tied it at 3, and then they had like a long run late in the game to go down and punch it in to go up 7, and then never look back.
Alex, from your perspective, because we were trying to watch along live with some of the stats in this game.
I think for me, I was like, that was kind of my question, not being able to watch live. Was this a great defensive game or a poor offensive game? Based on what I saw afterward, it seems like the defenses did show out. But you still have to wonder, I mean, wind or no wind, 3-point, not a touchdown. At least with the win, run a touchdown in. I don't know.
Yeah, so definitely a defensive struggle there. Michael Irvin was very excited post-game. Had a lot of...
So he was very animated during the game, like laying on the ground, like doing push-ups and like getting the crowd into it and whatever. It's like, I don't know what hallucinogens or whatever he took before the game, but man, he was wired. Meanwhile, Andre Johnson and Edgerrin James are just standing there next to him watching the game like normal people.
Yeah. What do they call him? Like the director of culture or something like that? He's got some title with the program, whether that's real or imagined.
Who knows?
Pre-game in this one, leading up to game day, Johnny Manziel was reportedly a bit too inebriated from the night before in the Paul Joshua fight. So game day had to bring in a backup guest picker.
I don't know why he was even considered a picker. None.
Because he went to Texas A&M. What do you want?
But he's an unreliable joke.
Wow, big feelings, Jim.
I just do. I think he's just a joke.
Well, further supported by his lack of attendance or inability to attend this one. We'll get to the Paul Joshua fight here shortly. Ole Miss takes down Tulane 41-10, and Oregon over James Madison 51-34 in the two games that have everyone clamoring now, why do we let these teams in?
What else do you do with them? So
put them against each other in a bowl game?
Is there are we working towards where we want a Power 5 national champion and a Group of 5 national championship or Power 4 or whatever? I feel like if you never have the chance to play in a national championship game, then what's the point of having a football team?
Well, I think if we go the route of a Group of 5 national champion, you're not going to see any more bowl games. Because think about how many of those programs play in bowl games.
Yeah, I'm just saying, at some point, if we're saying they don't get a chance to play, I feel like that's what they're playing for, is the opportunity, to compete, even though, your chances are a lot lower. I don't know. I just feel like saying they shouldn't participate at all. I'm like, that's fine if there's an alternative, but if not, it just feels like I would have a hard time playing for nothing.
I think it's because where two teams getting in this year really is going to hurt them down the road to ever try to get more than one in again.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, the takeaway from this situation. They may go, hey, the Power 4 champions get in no matter what. And then from there, you take the one Group of 5. I think this is just further amplified and controversial because it's still a smaller field. And when you go into the college basketball tournament, you have the similar type of 16-1 matchups, 15-2 matchups. And I think we see this all the same, and especially in those 16-1s, where it's like, why are they here? They're losing by 20 or 30. It's just within a 68, 64 team field as opposed to a 12 team field or 16 later on. So I think that's where it's just amplified because you're so close to the championship game, whereas that field of 64, right, in the round of 64, you're so far removed. So that's where I think the difference is right now. And this is a change from what we've seen in the past as far as the number of Group of 5 teams that have got in. Jim, do you watch any of those two games?
I did watch the Ole Miss game, and it was Tulane had no business there. I watched, again, part of the Oregon game until I realized, what am I watching and why? Now, I've listened to all of the bullshit and all. Here's what I have a huge freaking problem with. I have two big pet peeves. The whole Tulane, James Madison, they had no business here by the pundits. The talking heads of ESPN. They can kiss my ass. Those same people in the days of the BCS wanted this whole thing expanded, wanted the teams like Boise State and TCU to have a crack at it. And they were upset when those teams who were great teams back in the day got left out of the conversation because they weren't in the power whatever. Now that this year it doesn't play out that way and the moneymakers didn't get in, Texas and Notre Dame, now it's the system's ridiculous. This needs looked at. I'm sorry it didn't fall the way that it was intended. But if you all go back to, and Muff, I think you were one. I know that Guru Wilk was definitely one because he and I talked about it. Just to go back to the BCS and expand it, and we're fine. But we had to tinker with it, and we had to. Oh, I got a good idea. Just take the BCS, the computer thing, because we're already talking about strength of schedule. Go back to the BCS, put a couple more variables in, expand it, and we don't have this problem anymore. You take away the secret committee.
Yep.
Put a computer, put the variables in, go to 12, go to 16. I don't care, but expand it out, and you're not going to hear anybody bitch anymore.
Right, because once you take the human element out, then there's nobody in the room that you think is lobbying.
Yep.
Right? It's you put an independent group of, for lack of better terms, let's put an independent group of nerds in charge of this. Give them the variables, have them build the system, and all you say is, okay, everybody, starting week 10, start to give us who's in position.
Yep. You get your pre-shows, you get and the computer says 1, 2, and you get a reveal show, fine. But the computer did it.
Right.
But for those talking heads, Nick Saban, I love Nick Saban, all those other, I can't think of them. Herb Street probably said it. All those people, Pat McAfee, are like, this is ridiculous. James Madison, Tulane are robbing other teams that deserve to be in. Yes, and it's a system you clamored for. You didn't like the BCS instead of just expanding the BCS. So too bad, guys. Now, you Notre Dame fans, you Texas fans, I'm not saying you shouldn't be upset. You guys can be mad. Your team got left out. Tulane and Ole Miss, or Tulane and James Madison shouldn't have been playing. You're right. But the talking heads, they don't have a right to say anything. That's my take.
There we go. Which brings us to our quarterfinal matchups. We have Oregon, Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Bama versus Indiana in the Rose Bowl, also on New Year's Day. And the nightcap on New Year's Day, we have Ole Miss versus Georgia. New Year's Eve, we have Miami taking on Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. 7:30 p.m. kick on New Year's Eve. Do we still like this New Year's Eve game?
I do.
I don't really care about New Year's Eve, so for me, I'm like, yeah, it's something I don't care.
Nothing to watch.
Right.
I
don't disagree.
Like, the Miami hype train is crazy. This is revenge.
You want them to not be upset, Jim?
I think it's the way they're going about it. Like, this is revenge for 2002. You actually have Miami fans saying we need to coke up Michael Irvin, and like, I understand, but like, he has a drug problem, like a noted drug problem. What are we doing?
Definitely don't need to make that worse. He can do that all on his own if he really wants to.
Get our ring back. Like,
I think it's a little too early in this playoff situation to ask for that.
That's what I mean. Like, the stances that they're taking are like, all right. But I'm excited Miami's in. That's a game I'm about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some history there. Next in the leadoff, we have the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. We had an Anthony Joshua knockout of Jake Paul with some unofficial stats here. Jake Paul with 13 takedown attempts, none of which were successful, and he landed 16 total punches. His jaw gets broken in 2 places.
Yeah. He got his broken jaw in 2 places. Apparently now he has like plates in his jaw, and he can't eat solid food for a week. I'm wondering, and I tried to find it and couldn't, if they had to actually like wire his jaw shut. So basically you have to give it time to heal without like chewing and chomping. And I also already got had to have some of his teeth pulled out. So, woof.
Poor kid.
He finally fought somebody who was more in their prime. Yes, definitely trained, and had the ability to stop him with 50 to 60% effort. Right? Didn't have to look like he was laboring to make this happen, right? Just a couple well-placed punches at the right time, and he was down and looked like an amateur boxer against a professional.
I mean, technically, Jake Paul lasted longer than people thought he would.
Yeah, I think even Anthony Joshua said he was hoping to knock him out sooner.
But Jim finally gets to come up and see deserved.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was
He's
just
not a
about to say, I
boxer.
think I would title this F around and find out.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. In the golf world, Ja Rule almost put some fans down from the tee box in an event late last week. I asked the group, not if you've seen this, but how likely are we individually to hit a person lining the tee box in a semi-professional golf
Very.
event?
100%.
I mean, you've seen us golf in a scramble,
Yeah.
Muff. I think everybody here, other than yourself, has very high odds.
Yeah.
I would drill
Oh, wow.
at least one person, possibly multiple times.
Who all saw the video? I need to know that first.
I did
I
not.
have not.
If
Did
it
I
was
not
Ja
share
Rule,
that?
I wouldn't even have looked because I'm 50 Cent all the way.
Okay, fair enough. It was a direct right off the tee, and there were a couple well-positioned cameras that came out later, and it was like ankles. It wasn't even in the air. It barely got off the ground and was straight towards their ankles. So I think you guys at least have a shot to hit somebody in the head.
Yeah, that's true. We'd probably drill them in the head. When I saw this, that was my first thought. Like when I saw the note, that's like one of my big like things all the time. Whenever I'm golfing or times I've gone golfing, is like if I really shank one and hurt somebody. That's why I was like, it was the first time I hit a golf ball on a real golf course. It was like intimidating almost. Like, okay, I'm just gonna swing and whack this as hard as I can and hope for the best. Except for I'm not
There it
whacking.
is.
That was what I was supposed to be working on, not whacking.
That's true. That's true. It's supposed to be
Either
hitting the
way, my comment remains.
ball. All right, and we have the Patriot games loading. President Trump announced a 4-day athletic event with one young man and one young woman from each state to compete. I don't know if Jim and I fall within this one young person category, but Nate and Alex, I put you both to the floor to try to get into the Patriot games.
You're putting our name into the Hunger Games.
I say we nominate Noah.
You know, I'm going to send you guys a text message. I'm glad. It's funny that got brought up. So on Christmas, with his friends, young Noah does a Secret Santa that apparently there's games at such a thing. That's like a pie eating contest.
Oh dear.
And all I got was a shirtless picture with a face covered full of whipped cream and pie and him flexing. And apparently he had won that game. So like if it's a pie eating contest, young Noah would do great.
I would say a pie eating contest would be a good thing to be part of a Patriot game.
Yeah.
Of an athletic endeavor? Are we saying now that pie eating is an athletic endeavor?
In America, it might be. I mean, we have the hot dog eating contest.
I don't know if that fits in with the Secretary of War's new standards on physical prowess, Jim.
Do you see the picture?
Yes, that is. I will not be able to unsee that now.
That's what I said.
Noah, that might be your
Right.
new contact photo, buddy.
So I have a concern here, Jim.
So do I.
I mean, aside from the event itself, the concern I have is it does not appear that whole pie has been eaten.
And he's flexing, right?
Right. So I contend, as somebody who has participated in a pie eating contest, it had to be eaten to completion.
Right. What's he doing?
I feel like this is next time Noah's around and I'm around, we need to have a real pie eating contest, and it can't be partial eating gets win.
My other question is, how did he go from Secret Santa with his friends to a shirtless pie eating contest with a bunch of bros?
I don't know. We need answers.
Likely because they didn't want to get pie all over themselves. I don't know that being shirtless is part of the, rules. I could be wrong, but it appears as though one person remained Christmas sweatered.
He's wearing a Christmas sweater just looking at him shirtless.
All right. All right. More to come on that later when we get into this. So maybe next spring when we golf, this will be part of the scenario that we play out post round. All right, let's jump into NFL Week 16, starting with Thursday Night Football as the Seahawks beat the Rams 38-37 in overtime. The Seahawks were 0-172 when trailing by 15-plus points in the fourth quarter. They pull this one out, and the Seahawks become the first NFL team to ever win an overtime game on a 2-point conversion. A lot of firsts in this game in a highly competitive matchup between two NFC powerhouses this season. Do we take anything away from this aside from they have put themselves at the top of the NFC playoff picture with this game?
Two teams I don't want to see in the postseason if I'm any other NFC team.
You won't have to worry about that, Nate.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yikes. Nate is a Bucs fan. Just got super sad there. Yikes. Moving on to Eagles 29, Commanders 18. With this win by the Eagles, Dallas was mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and the Eagles win the NFC East.
Then the other stuff, seriously? And this is what I said. This is what I'm going to say.
Go on, Jim. Jim?
I had nothing
Go on, Jim. No, nothing to say.
You talking yourself over there?
Would you like to share?
Go amongst yourselves.
Okay. Next we have the Bears-Packers. Saturday football. Prime time as the Bears take down the Packers 22-16. Bears come back in this one. Much thanks to Caleb Williams, who Jim has, I don't know if it's a totally different take, but we'll say a bit of a turnaround on Caleb Williams.
I just think the guy deserves his flowers. All that shit that was talked about to him. Like, if I talk shit, I'm sorry. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's mentally tougher than people gave him credit for.
I feel like what's happening with him is what's like kind of supposed to happen. Like he had some years where he wasn't great, and as he's growing into being an NFL quarterback, he's showing like steady improvement in his performance. I feel like we expect sometimes these guys to come in and just like rock it right in the first year, or else we write him off. So I feel like there were a lot of Caleb Williams haters because he wasn't immediately an all-star, but he's shown that being in the role and being in the same position, working with the same people, he's progressed.
100% there. Jordan Love missed the second half in this one with a concussion. Without Jordan Love, Malik Willis still played, I think, pretty well. He didn't come through in the clutch, but definitely didn't hurt the Packers' chances. How far do we think the Packers can progress through the season and even in a first-round playoff game with a less than 100% Jordan Love?
I mean, without 100% Jordan Love, and you already lost Micah for the year, I mean, for the Packers, I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but I mean, they can sneak up on someone, like you said, at least in the first round.
That's what I was going to say. It's not really so much that they don't have the potential, but they are I feel like they're very hot and cold already. And without a 100% Jordan Love, I'd be a little more nervous about him.
Yeah, and that receiving core is week to week. Who's hurt? Who's going to be playing? Christian Watson went down for some time in this game. Romeo Doubs has been hurt throughout much of the season. They just got back. Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft is out for the season. There's just a lot that the Packers have had moving parts all season, and I feel like it's just continued. And without some consistency, I don't see the Packers being able to put it together unless they have these pieces all back by the time we hit that last week or in the first round of the playoffs. So we'll see how that progresses for the Packers, but the Bears put themselves in prime position moving forward. Next with the Bills 23, the Browns 20 in a game where just another degenerate from Cleveland, Nemi, was attending, and he sent us pictures that it was definitely billed out. It looked like Bills Southwest in Cleveland. Definitely a competitive game. Jim, your boy Shedeur. Played well for much of the game. Definitely still had some rookie moments towards the end, but they stayed competitive. Myles Garrett now a half sack away from tying TJ Watt's single season record. So he's likely to get that with the games he has left. Quinshon Judkins left this game, dislocated ankle and fractured fibula. Medical degenerate Alex.
Killing my fantasy team.
Yeah, that's gonna take. It's gonna take a little bit of time to heal. Only fracturing the fibula is not a huge deal. That's not a weight-bearing bone, so like that'll just be time to heal. The concern is with the dislocated ankle. What else did he disrupt? He probably has some kind of ligamentous or injury, and how long will that take to recover? So that's really what it'll be: is what else did he injure when he dislocated the ankle?
All right, moving on. The Chargers 34, the Cowboys 17. Justin Herbert still has a broken throwing hand, yet threw 2 touchdowns and rushed for 1 more, 300 yards through the air. The Chargers continue a charge and a playoff push. As we've already mentioned, the Cowboys have been eliminated from playoff contention. Cowboy land, Jerry World. What can they do this offseason to come into next season competitive? It's got to be the defense. That is the underlying issue. And the Dak Prescott window is starting to close.
They have the firepower on offense. It's just, what do you think they need most on defense? Is it still pass rush? Is it secondary help?
All of it.
Well, hopefully they don't get it.
Nate definitely doesn't want to see that happen. The Titans take down the Chiefs 26-9, breaking their 11-game home winning streak and their first home win since November of 2024. Chiefs secure their first losing season since 2012. They are 6-9 with 2 games left. Gardner Minshew went out in this one with a likely torn ACL. It is just down the pooper right now for the Chiefs.
Yeah, not good in Chiefs land. There's some kind of curse. ACL curse.
There's an ACL curse. The Bengals take down the Dolphins 45-21. Quinn Ewers got the start for Miami. He ended 20 for 30 for 260, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow had a good day. T. Higgins was out in this game for them. These are 2 teams, just really players probably fighting for their jobs at this point. So the Bengals come out in a good way with this one. I don't expect anybody has any other thoughts on this. Is that true?
Negative.
No, T. Higgins was not out. Well, did he get knocked out in the game? Because
maybe he was questionable going in. Okay. Maybe he was questionable going in. That had some fantasy implications for me.
I don't think he's been 100%, but he did play. And the only reason that I knew that was not right was because he scored that first touchdown.
All right. Saints 29, Jets 6. The only takeaway from this is Taysom Hill now becomes the only player in the Super Bowl era with over 1,000 career passing, rushing, and receiving yards. The ultimate tool in the tool belt, and has just made his rounds.
Yeah, he threw a touchdown today. Like not just a goal line touchdown either. It was a nice long throw. So he's a cool player to watch and root for.
Yeah, Vikings 16, Giants 13. J.J. McCarthy goes out in this one again. Cannot stay healthy. The Vikings do get the win over the hapless Giants. Nate's Bucks lose 23-20 to the Panthers. Nate, you called for a more impassioned group multiple weeks ago. You finally got that from the head coach, and it does not translate to a win. How do you feel about your Bucks today?
Nope. They're dead.
Dead to you or just dead everywhere?
This season, they're dead.
Okay. Jags 34,
Even
Broncos
if they
20.
come back and win that division, they're not going to win a playoff game.
All right. Jags 34, Broncos 20. With the win, Sean Payton did not join Bill Belichick, looking to become the only head coach in NFL history with at least 5 13-win seasons. The Jags take this one down. Broncos, I think, had won 10 straight. Did not get that next win. The Jags continue on their tear and look like a team to be reckoned with as we reach the end of the season going into the playoffs. Should we be fearing the Jags in the playoff picture right now?
I don't know about
If
fearing.
they're going to score like this, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely bringing up themselves for consideration.
All right. Falcons 26, Cardinals 19. That game happened.
Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm. It did. Out in Arizona
right.
somewhere.
Kirk Cousins rushed for a touchdown.
Kirk Cousins did. He had like a one yard score there towards the end of the game.
Old man.
Next, we have the Steelers going into Detroit and beating the Lions 29-24 in a game that ended, I'm not going to say with controversy because our group of officiating has told us that the call was correct, but definitely some confusion amongst the masses. So, Nate, let's just fast forward to the end here for a play where Amon-Ra St. Brown caught the ball, was before he got tackled, pitched the ball back to Jared Goff, who went in to the end zone for a touchdown. But prior to any of that, there was an offensive pass interference call. So take us through the elements of this play and how the call is put into action at the end of this game.
So I think Supervisor Gene said it best is there is no extension of a game when the clock expires on an offensive penalty, first and foremost. So, yes, they ruled that the lateral pitch back to Goff was good and he scored, which no one was contesting that. It was a matter of did they rule progress or not. So then once they said, okay, they did not kill the play, like you said, there was OPI. So Steelers obviously are going to accept that penalty for OPI, but it was fourth down, time expired, so you don't even have to run another play, even if you accept that penalty, because you're not going to add any time back, obviously. And by rule, you're not going to add or have an untimed down on an offensive foul. Had it been a DPI, you would have had an untimed down.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense if they gave another play for offense. People would just commit offensive penalties if they thought they weren't going to get the down.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised now that we knew what the result of everything was on what took them so long to make the announcement. Because it seemed like Romo and Nance knew the OPI was the call. I think at that point it was just a matter of, okay, did they blow it dead for progress? Because if they blew it dead for progress, then they would have had to put time back on and say, okay, we have OPI, we killed it with so many seconds left, so now we're going to enforce the penalty, and the clock's going to start on the ready for play. I think that's what the holdup was.
Okay, that makes sense as to why there was so much discussion. Right, there was a lot going on all at once there. This is a game that defense ruled the first half, and the teams really opened it up towards the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. This game was trending under pretty much until the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then it just blew up, opened up from all sides.
I know. As someone who had the under.
Yeah, well, someone said the over. I was pretty good with that. Texans beat the Raiders 23-21 in a tightly contested matchup in a game that people were not expecting in this one. Jim, how you feel about your Texans after today?
I feel great.
Well said.
Good to know. Good to know. Patriots Ravens live looking, Nate.
7-0 Ravens. Patriots are driving.
All right. I do want to go back to the Steelers game real quick. We had DK Metcalf get into it with a fan while he was on the sidelines, reached up, and I would say he definitely threw a hand. I'm not going to say he punched the person, but definitely threw a hand towards the person.
Grabbed their shirt or something. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like he was trying. I don't know if he was trying to grab the shirt that they had, that DK Metcalf jersey that they had in their hand. It was weird.
Well, why was he even back there? Who let him stay back there?
Well, supposedly what happened was he saw that fan they had a DK Metcalf jersey in their hand, like a black and yellow one. And I think he walked back there thinking it was like a good-natured thing. And I think he went back to be like, hey, man, what's up? And then they said something ignorant. And that was what, like, it seemed like when they were talking about it live, what happened. So because at first I was the same thing. Like, what are you doing talking to a fan, the other team's fans anyway? But then I was like, I think he thought at first he was doing something nice. and it went south.
Yeah, do it after the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not the time or place, but it was very weird. Like, and I don't know what they said. Like, why do you have I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's definitely going to be some action by the league here. I would say at least a fine. I do not know if suspension is any type of standard in player-fan interaction, so I'm assuming we'll get something tomorrow.
I heard them talking, and they basically, I guess, suspected it would be a fine, but like, I guess the league has the option to make it more if they want.
We will see. And in Monday Night Football, we have the 49ers taking on the Colts. Who we got in this game? Let's go pick by pick. Nate, who you got?
I think the Niners get this one.
Alex?
Colts.
Jim?
Colts.
All right, I'm going to go with the Niners in this one. I think Phillip Rivers had one good game in him, and after that, I think we're going to get into a bit of a quagmire with his presence there. But the Colts have opened up Anthony Richardson's 21-day practice window. Whether that means something before the end of the season or potentially for the playoffs, we will see. That wraps up our NFL news. We're going to go into some upcoming college football games through the bowl season before we get into some additional college football talk. So upcoming, we have in the Idaho Potato Bowl on Monday, Washington State taking on Utah State. Utah State will be leaving the Mountain West and joining Washington State in the Pac-12. So there'll be conference foes soon. What is that, 3 teams left in the Pac-12 now?
Not left.
Yeah, those two, and then Oregon State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're rebuilding.
If they're getting an addition, it's not left. It's 3 teams.
Well,
they're growing.
Yes, I guess you can say they're growing by 50%, Jim.
Great work, Pac-12.
All right. In the Boca Raton Bowl, we have Toledo taking on Louisville. In the New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky, them pesky Hilltoppers taking on Southern Miss. Frisco Bowl, we've got UNLV versus Ohio, which more to come on Ohio here shortly. The Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve, Cal taking on Hawaii. In the Game Above Sports Bowl on Friday, Central Michigan taking on Northwestern. In the Rate Bowl, New Mexico taking on Minnesota. And the First Responder Bowl, FIU taking on the Meat Meeps, the Roadrunners from UTSA. The Military Bowl, Pitt, East Carolina. Pinstripe Bowl, Penn State Clemson. Fenway Bowl, UConn Army. Pop-Tarts Bowl, Georgia Tech BYU. In the Arizona Bowl, Miami, Ohio taking on Fresno State. New Mexico Bowl, North Texas versus San Diego State. Gator Bowl, Missouri taking on Virginia. And in the Texas Bowl, LSU versus Houston. Any of these matchups we're looking forward to?
Pop-Tarts.
Mizzou versus Virginia is probably one that I wouldn't mind sitting down watching. Penn State Clemson. I want to see a sad Dabo.
Georgia Tech.
And there's one more. I think I want to watch the Toledo Louisville on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped for the Pop-Tarts Bowl just for the fanfare around it. Obviously, I'm excited for Penn State Clemson. Yeah, I would say those are the two. I'm with Alex, too. Just the Georgia Tech BYU matchup, I think, is going to be hopefully a fun game as well.
That's what I was going to say. The fanfare is fun around the Pop-Tart Bowl, but I'm actually, that's a game I want to watch.
Yeah. All right, and some other college football news. Kenny Dillingham headed to Arizona State for a reported 7.5 average per year with an $11 million staff pool.
Good for him.
Buddy.
I think that's cool that comes out with the staff pool. Like, we usually don't hear that number. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to see. Ohio University's coach fired for reportedly, I don't know if it's reported or is this legit now? Have we confirmed all of this, drinking on the job?
I think the drinking is confirmed. It's the other stuff that's alleged.
Yeah, I think he admitted to drinking like a beer or something in his office.
But it's the alleged
fired.
stuff.
You did something else, and they just are going to say on paper you got fired for drinking a beer.
But he didn't threaten to kill himself or who he was allegedly visiting.
Yes, that is all the alleged conduct to this point. Jim, Ohio State flips a recruit from Tennessee and gets Legend Bay.
I don't know so I don't think it's a flip. I think that time just played itself out and he doesn't have to listen to mom anymore. Because that's the
Go
story.
on.
Mom, he was always going to Ohio State. When he was at signing day, he was dressed in Ohio State. He had Ohio State stuff all over the table. Mom, and I'll go with the Muff's favorite word, alleged. Allegedly, mom was working backdoor deals.
Go on.
Where she was meeting with Tennessee recruiters, didn't want him to go anywhere. It's close to home, blah, 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 blah. But mom would not sign his letter of intent to go to Ohio State because he was under 18. He waited out until he was 18 and then asked Tennessee for his release, got his release, and now he's going to Ohio State. Because he's 18 now and he can do that.
Right. But this goes back to another one of those, right, where we talked about the NLI just requested a release. They released him, and he signed with another team.
Well, it goes back to, like we were saying, can you get out of it? Oh, yeah, it's obviously fairly easily.
Yeah, in this case, definitely an easy spot. Definitely a high-profile recruit headed to Ohio State. Jim, is there a lot of fanfare around him coming to Ohio State, or is this just the build-up around the situation itself?
There was a lot of fanfare prior to him not coming. Like, it was him and Henry that were, like, the major wins. But then when he got flipped, quote-unquote, there was major letdown. But there was always rumblings of, like, mom did this. And then, it was always like, 3 weeks, we'll get him. And then when we got him, there wasn't a lot of buzz behind it. It was kind of like, that's the way it should have played out.
That was assumed this was going to be the outcome.
Yeah. So there hasn't been much about the flip. I mean, like the Facebook, but like Facebook is a bunch of trolls. But like as far as the legitimacy of it, it was always a foregone conclusion this was going to happen.
All right. In Penn State, we had AD Pat Kraft getting some audio leaked from some discussions that he had. In a clip posted by Dead Air Sports, Kraft stressed the stakes of their coaching hire, which I don't think can be really debated. Telling players that he would be fired if he chose the wrong candidate, adding, "How could you fuck up Penn State?" I agree, my sir. I agree at this point. He also said he dismissed James Franklin to avoid settling for second best. I feel like after all of the conversations we've had on this podcast, Jim, I think you can get behind that slightly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I agree with that. My beef's never been with Penn State. My beef's always been with James Franklin.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, apparently you and the athletic director align a little bit here.
But I also think he's fucked it up just as bad.
I don't disagree there. Indicating interim coach Terry Smith was unlikely to get the permanent job despite the end of their season. Kraft also criticized the quality of several recruits who followed Franklin to Virginia Tech, I guess speculating that maybe they weren't the best of the best. Took some jabs at Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan, along with acknowledging the challenges of recruiting to State College, Pennsylvania.
I think this is where it starts getting like real angry for me. Like, one, you're taking swipe at kids. Two, you could have put a fucking cork in the leaking to Virginia Tech if you'd have just put a coach in there quicker, or if you kept Franklin for the whole year, you were already in. Like, you could have stopped this bleeding. And three, why are you taking swipes at Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan? Like,
yeah, and I've not seen the context behind what those were. I'm assuming it's in recruiting and paying players money.
He called Michigan cheaters. I saw that one.
Do you disagree?
Do you agree, Jim?
I'm not allowed to agree or disagree. I'm just giving facts.
Just curious if you were going to hold to that or not, if this would be the reason it would flip out.
But why are you taking that shot now?
Well, when you're behind closed door and you don't think the audio is going to get out, you probably take a lot of shots.
Like, your program is drowning. Put all this effort.
They're drowning.
He, the man, is drowning. He's losing recruits. He can't get a coach. He might lose, sponsorship deals, and like, he has to stop the bleeding. And you're over here taking shots at the big three, and James Franklin, who's cherry picking you like crazy. Like, stop it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for the program right now. Not a good thing for a new coach to hear coming in, right? And an AD having those strong words for somebody on their way out the door. I don't think it will create any current strain in that relationship, but I think there would definitely be some looking over the shoulder now for any head coach in any major sport at Penn State. So not good. Diego Pavia's camp is reportedly considering taking legal action after he finished second in the Heisman Trophy voting.
And his apology was bullshit.
Wah, wah, wah.
He went from being someone I thought was like kind of cool and like I was like, yeah, I can get behind this guy, to like, oh my gosh, you're such a whiny crybaby.
This has to drop his draft stock.
Oh, I wouldn't want him on my team. I'd be like, no, if you're just gonna complain and whine all the time, I don't want you.
No, he's going to be the next Johnny Manziel.
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
He's definitely setting himself up to be that way at the moment, at least with what he's done off the field. I mean, not just the issues with him, but even around his family. And I'm not talking about like Theo Vaughn and his mom. I'm talking like his brother, right, who was taken out of the stadium. So I do think that he needs to consider how to keep that circle tight and with the right people going into the NFL and going into draft season here. So hopefully he figures it out, because I do think he has a shot to be a productive NFL player. But if he starts out this way, it's going to tank quickly.
Yeah.
In the aforementioned Texas world, Arch Manning is reportedly taking a pay cut to come back for another year at Texas. I don't think he needed to take a pay cut to come back. I think he needed to come back to do anything for his draft stock.
Agree.
But this whole pay cut thing is just, what did you expect?
Yeah,
right?
You didn't really do anything to earn a paycheck.
Yeah. So
it was 1 year starter.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Arch Manning, Jim?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's bring us into other interesting news in sports.
Interesting news in sports.
All right, Nate. We didn't get to hear from you last time. We sort of heard from you as you left. Let's hope you stay around for this one. Last week, the Penguins traded Tristan Jarry and Sam Poulin to the Oilers for Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick. You think this is a good move for the Penguins?
Yeah, because they're offloading all of the salary for Jarry. They said they're not maintaining any of his salary in this deal, which is surprising. Because there was always speculation that the Pens were going to move on from him, given his woes. I mean, what was it, last year? They sent him down to the minors.
Yeah.
So I think that was the writing on the wall that they were looking to move him. And then they get Stuart Skinner, which was kind of surprising. I mean, as not an avid hockey fan. I mean, he comes from the Oilers, who have been in the Stanley Cup Finals the past 2 seasons, and he's been the goalie. So you get someone who's experienced, and I didn't realize that Stuart Skinner is actually younger than Jarry.
So you'd say it's trending good for the Penguins there.
I have no idea. It should be on paper, but I mean, so far Skinner's 0-2 as a Pen. I don't know anything about Kulak, and then getting a second-round pick. Can't complain about that.
Yeah, I think Jarry also went on the injured list, like as soon as he got to Edmonton.
He did.
So
it was like his second, maybe third game.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good thing. Also in Penguins news, the Hoffman family of companies is reportedly buying the majority stake in the Penguins from the Fenway Sports Group, even though the Fenway Sports Group will still remain part of the ownership picture. This has been another cry of Pittsburgh fans, Penguins fans, that the Fenway Sports Group was, much like you think about the Nutting family with the Pirates, in it for the prestige and the money, but not necessarily in it to win it. So I think Penguins fans are excited about this move. Any thoughts, Alex, Nate?
Change is good here. I mean, we haven't trended great the last few seasons, and I want to keep that going forward. I feel like that was just a simple way of saying it.
Nate, thoughts?
I don't know enough about this, but in other Penguins news, Crosby has officially tied Mario for the franchise record in points.
All right. Could break it. Game ongoing, correct?
Yeah, they're playing the Canadiens.
Correct. Third period tied 3-3.
All right. Another Pittsburgh sports news. The Pittsburgh Pirates
Did you
acquire
just skip
Brandon
me?
Lowe.
You just skipped me. I got news in there.
Hold on. All I see, Jim, says Kraken trade.
The Kraken made a trade.
Tell us about the Kraken trade.
Mason Marchment was traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets, which is the only reason I put this in here. He was traded for a second-round pick in the 2027 and a fourth-round pick in the 2026 drafts. He was supposed to be like kind of some vigor to the team, but they traded him. Kind of an odd trade, but we were on a 10-game skid at the time. We did just break the skid here, I think yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Odd that's all we got is these next year draft picks, but hopefully this changes stuff. As Alex just said, change is good. So, but I thought it was cool that it traded to the Blue Jackets.
Change is good, Alex. You hear that?
Yep. Depends.
That means
Well,
we
actually,
can
I
go
say
to
that,
the
but I
we.
actually hate change.
Yeah. So you both said it. You two are the most unbending people when it comes to this.
I know.
Change is good.
So
If things are going bad, change is then good. However, if things are going good, then change is then bad.
Change is bad, right?
so it sounds like we can go to the alternate Riverside structure where it brings up the speaker next time.
I
No.
don't think I've had a
All right, in Pittsburgh sports news, in the baseball world, the Pirates get Brandon Lowe. Nate, how do you feel? You follow this much better than all of us. Brandon Lowe, good addition for the Pirates.
Yes, very good addition for the Pirates. Brandon Lowe, just from some reading I did, was an all-star last year for the Rays, second baseman by trade. 31 home runs, I think, last year and 80-some RBIs. So the production's there. There's an all-star player last year. So if management's trying to put the narrative out there that they're trying this, sure as hell shows that they're trying. They also got a young outfielder who started, so I don't know how many games last year. I think they say he was a rookie, but he showed some promise. And then they also got a pitcher in the deal. And part of this deal was a 3-team trade with the Astros getting Mike Burrows, who was like the Pirates' number 4, number 5 starter last year. And then I don't know who else. I think that was the only Pirate that was traded. And then the Mariners, I think, were also in on this deal, maybe. I can't remember if that was a 13 or not. But great addition for the Pirates to give up an area of strength and an area of depth for an all-star caliber player to help the team right now.
All right, boys, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year the Pirates are in it in September.
I'm
Calling it right now. Jim, put it in the notes.
I'm not.
The vault.
Not doing
Jim,
that.
put that in the notes.
I'm not.
You're not the only one who gets to say what goes in the vault.
It's my vault, and I don't want to see you guys get
Archive.
this. Like, I can't help your disappointment. Like, I don't want to write down disappointment for you. I think
Alex,
it's
write
just
it in your
known.
notes.
I think it's just known that you guys will say every year, this will be the year, and every year, nothing will let you down. I don't need to write that down.
This is for things we won't remember. Is that what you're saying?
This is just like in your DNA.
It is.
Okay,
Stop.
well, we can hope, Jim. It's December. We can hope in December.
Yeah, that's what you
All
do.
right.
It's like Groundhog's Day for you.
We're in the Christmas spirit.
Apparently, so is Bob Nutting. All right, in the basketball world, the WNBA PA announced Thursday that its members have overwhelmingly voted to authorize a strike, quote unquote, when necessary during the ongoing negotiations between the Players Association and the WNBA.
Why are we talking about any of this?
Because this has been an ongoing story, Jim. And now they are saying they are willing to do it.
Hey, we'll
They are
walk
willing
out.
to take that
We
extra
need to
step.
walk out. Okay. You're not going to get paid what you want paid.
So we can just assume there's going to be no WNBA season next season.
No, they'll bend and they'll get ripped off.
All right. Another basketball news: Audie Crooks in the women's college game had 41 points in 30 minutes for Iowa State on Sunday. This is her fourth career 40-point game, and she is still averaging more points than minutes played. This is good for women's basketball. We should celebrate this.
It is.
Women's basketball should advertise it and hype it up.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. This is really what I'm getting at here is why are we not elevating this a little bit more?
Because those cost advertising dollars, and that league is cheap.
Fair enough. The NBA will be enacting several sports betting policies, including changing injury reporting rules. One of the major things that's come out in some of these recent betting issues, betting challenges, betting concerns within the league. Teams will now be required to resubmit injury listing on game day between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. local time, and updated public reports every 15 minutes per Shams Charania with ESPN.
Every 15 minutes?
Yes.
Little excessive.
Well, I think some of what the NBA has done to make this necessary was also a bit inexcessive.
That's true. They were I feel like they went from nothing to everything.
That's what happens when you cost people millions of dollars and pad your players' pockets with some of these betting situations. In college basketball, in probably one of the potentially saddest and oddest things over the past week, Georgetown coach Ed Cooley was irritated after Malik Mack missed a game-tying three-point field goal at the buzzer against Xavier on Saturday, was squeezing a water bottle and then threw it into the stands, striking a child. Cooley's been suspended for his next game. Apparently, the child that was struck was a friend of the family. That family is reportedly going to be filing a lawsuit against Cooley and the university as the young boy suffered a serious concussion and was rushed to the hospital in critical condition after the incident.
It seems like he's going to be okay. But still, I mean, that's you got to act. It was if you watch the video too, I was kind of expecting a throw your hands up in the air and throw the bottle. He turned around and beamed it.
Yeah, it was a fastball. It was 100% a fastball in this situation.
Toss in the air.
Yeah, I expected something similar, Alex, and when I watched it, I had to watch it 2 or 3 times to realize exactly the throw. I would assume if you're going to hurl it like that, it's going to be either in the direction of your players or directly at the ground. And this was a line drive directly into the stands.
Yes, at the child.
Yeah, so hopefully the kid comes out on this well, doesn't have any ongoing health concerns or issues with this, but definitely a bad situation for Cooley, college basketball in Georgetown itself.
Yeah.
And last in basketball news, the NBA Cup has completed and the Knicks were victorious. We no longer have to see any of these crazy colored courts anymore. We can now watch basketball on regular basketball courts, and apparently what the players get $1 million each for this. Good for the NBA. You did the NBA Cup right in time to get into Christmas where nobody's going to be watching because we're more worried about football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's leaving.
Good thing we only have wrestling left to talk about. He made it pretty far.
All right. Yeah, he made it pretty far. And last, another interesting news in sports. In the collegiate wrestling world, Penn State breaks the dual meet winning streak record over the weekend with 2 shutout wins at the collegiate duels. The second shutout win was over a ranked Stanford opponent. This is a 70-plus year record that has been broken. So the machine keeps rolling. Cale Sanderson and the Penn State wrestling squad keep doing what they do.
All I do is
Jim?
win.
Iowa State beat number 3 Iowa State today in their duel.
What was the score? I didn't see it. I'm just curious.
Damn it, Muff. I lost it. I knew you were going to do that.
Was it close?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Ohio State University Wrestling. Hold, please. Hold, please. 21-13. It was close.
Close.
21 to
I
13.
mean, I don't know how that played out in the match, but all right. Setting up a collision course. I believe it's in January, the Penn State-Ohio State duel.
I think so, yeah.
So the one to look forward to as we get into the new year in collegiate wrestling. I want to give some kudos here as we get out of this week's episode to Alex. Alex had his first week of stat calling in the collegiate basketball world and improved from a C-ish to a solid B in game 2.
Woo! I remembered important things. Call assists. Don't freeze. Whatever you do, don't freeze. And I don't think I have any freezes.
You had 2 on Saturday.
Okay. Well, they weren't as big as freezes as they were before.
Yes. They were not.
We were yelling like, "Who was the rebound?" I was like, "I don't know." Yeah.
Except for Alex didn't say any of that out loud. It was Alex, who's the rebound? And Alex was sitting there.
And then my mind
5.
was working, but then the game was still going, and I'm panicking internally, and it's like, and then I'm like, I don't want to disappoint Muff. What was the rebound?
So then he said a number. One of the times he said a number that wasn't even in the game, I don't think. So that was exciting. Yes, Alex did not see the freezes Saturday as much because he had a different secondary caller, and the secondary caller called it to me. So Alex didn't realize that there was that big of a freeze because I got the information and didn't hound him for it.
Yeah, but only like 2 times is pretty good. We're working.
Good job, boys. Kudos to you. Let's get out of here while we have Nate still visually.
All right, that wraps up this week's episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. We're coming at you live on Tuesday night with our betting episode. You can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding, ding.
Get that bell on, that bell into the holiday seasons, into the college football playoff, into the rest of bowl season, which we sort of care about, but probably don't all said and done, aside from maybe a game or 2. Yeah. And while we're on this journey, make sure that you tell a friend, make a friend, be a friend.